Part 2, Whispers of the Wild. The first light of dawn painted the peaks in gold as Jed's horse picked its way along the narrow deer trail, hooves crunching frost-laced gravel. Elara shifted behind him, her body stiff from the cold ride, but she bit back complaints. Pride was all she had left. Jed hadn't spoken since Black Hawk, his silence as vast as the valleys below. They crested a rise, and there it sprawled, his cabin, a sturdy log affair tucked against a sheer cliff face, smoke curling lazy from the stone chimney like a dragon's sigh. Home, Jed muttered, dismounting and offering a hand, this time calloused, but steady. Elara took it, her fingers small in his grip, and stepped down onto soil that felt alive under her town-worn boots. Chickens scratched in a fenced yard, a mule brayed from the lean-to, and a stack of firewood towered like a monument to solitude. It wasn't the gingerbread house of her childhood tales, but it beat the saloon's underbelly. Inside, the cabin was sparse but warm, a hearth crackling with fresh split oak, a trestle table scarred from knife games, and a loft bed piled with furs. Jed hung his coat, revealing a frame corded with muscle from years of hauling game. "Pantry's there," he said, jerking a thumb at a root cellar door. "Help yourself. I ain't your cook." Elara nodded, unpacking the meager bundle Harlan had allowed, a spare dress, a tin cup, her locket. She felt his eyes on her, appraising, not leering like a scout sizing up unfamiliar terrain. "What's the catch, Mr. Blackwood?" she asked, turning to face him. "You didn't buy me for my sewing skills." He poured coffee from a dented pot, black as midnight, and slid a mug her way. "Name's Jed. And no catch, miss, least not one I'm admittin' to yet." His lips twitched, almost a smile, but it died quick. "Town's no place for a woman alone. Up here, you earn your keep, tend the garden come spring, mend what breaks. But I won't chain you. Doors always open." She sipped the brew, bitter but fortifying, and studied him. Rumors in Black Hawk painted Jed as a devil, killed a man in 47 over a disputed trapline, vanished into the wild after his wife's grave went unmarked. Yet here he was, offering freedom in a world that peddled chains. "Elara," she said finally. "Elara Kane. And thank you for seeing me." Jed grunted, stepping out to tend the stock. Elara explored, finding shelves lined with journals, sketches of peaks, tallies of pelts, poems scratched in a hand rough as bark. One entry caught her eye, "Lost her to the fever, same as my soul to the snow. Ain't no thaw for the likes of me." Her heart ached. The man was a fortress, but cracks ran deep. Days blurred into a rhythm as crisp as autumn leaves. Elara rose with the sun, feeding the mule cornbread mash while Jed checked snares for Coney. They'd share meals of venison stew simmered with wild onions she'd foraged, talking in fits and starts. He taught her to sharpen a skinning knife angle like "You're kissin' the edge," gentle but sure, and she mended his shirts, stitching stories into the patches, a quilt from her ma's patterns, adapted for frontier wear. But harmony's a fragile thing in the wild. One evening, as frost etched the windows like spider webs, riders thundered up the trail, 3 of them, hard-eyed drifters from Black Hawk with Harlan's weasel face among them. "Boss sends regards," the leader spat, a scar-faced brute named Tate. "Says you stole his niece. Gold's common due, Blackwood, or we take the girl and your pelts to cover it." Jed stood in the doorway, shotgun loose in his grip. "Debts paid. Auction was legal. Ride on 4, I add you to the compost." Tate laughed, yellow teeth flashing. "Legal in Black Hawk, Harlan says different. And he says the girl's got a mouth needs bridlin'." His gaze slithered to Elara, who clutched a poker from the fire, hidden behind Jed. The air crackled, taut as a bowstring. Jed's voice dropped low. Last warnin'. This here's my claim, man, beast, or fool who crosses it ends up fertilizer. Tate spurred his horse, but not before hurling a rock that grazed Jed's shoulder, drawing blood. The riders vanished down the slope, curses echoing. Elara pressed a cloth to the cut, her hands shaking. They'll be back. Harlan won't quit. Jed winced but waved her off. Let 'em. I've faced worse than town rats. That night, as thunder rumbled distant, Elara lay awake in the loft, listening to Jed pace below. She slipped down, finding him by the fire, whittling a stick into nothing. Tell me about her, she whispered. The one in the poems. He stilled, knife pausing. Married young, thought the mountains be our kingdom. Fever took her quick, left me, empty. His eyes met hers, raw. Bought you 'cause you got that same spark she had. Reckon it's why I can't let go. Elara touched his arm, a spark jumping between them warmer than the flames. Then don't. We're both ghosts till we choose different. Outside, the wind howled a warning, but for a moment, the cabin held the world at bay. Yet dawn brought scouts' tracks in the mud, Harlan's men circling closer, and whispers of a bigger storm, a blizzard brewing that'd test if their fragile bond could weather the freeze.